Welcome. Today we are focusing on how to monitor and manage your storage performance and also optimize the cost, especially in Azure cloud environment. We'll cover Azure Monitor, which is again a service given by Azure. We will also look at metrics tracking, cost management tools, and how you can use these tools to keep your Azure storage more efficient and cost effective. So let's get started. Let's start with Azure Monitor itself. It provides end-to-end monitoring for Azure resources, giving you insights into performance, health, and the availability of the service itself. With Azure Monitor, you can detect issues early and ensure that your systems stay reliable. Then, what do you mean by metrics? Well, Azure Monitor actually allows you to track real-time performance metrics like CPU utilization, memory usage, and network throughput or latency. This helps you to optimize the capacity and ensure that your resources are running at their best. Now, before we move forward, let me just talk about some of the use cases. Well, if your storage performance drops by any condition, let's say someone did it intentionally or by mistake, but if the performance drops, Azure Monitor can quickly alert you via SMS, push notification, or even Azure can give you a call so that you can take action before it actually impacts your production environment. So, to have a proactive approach to your situation, Azure Monitor and specifically the alerts in Azure Monitor can really help you. The next is cost management tools. Well, with Azure Cost Management, you can track and allocate your cloud spendings. It helps you to set budgets, analyze cost trends, and give you recommendation for cost saving opportunities in the future. Remember, these are suggestions given by Azure, and your administrator can actually implement these recommendations one by one. So, what will be the use case of saving money? Well, you might realize that certain storage tiers aren't being used optimally. Now, the cost management is also not done properly. So, if you go to cost management, you can see the suggestions. Maybe the cost management will give you some suggestions that there are some resources stored at hot tier, but these resources are not used. Now, you can actually move those resources from hot to cooler tier. Or maybe if you just want to store it for many years to come, why don't you just move it to archive to save even more money? So you can follow such recommendations to save a lot of money in the future for your organization. Next is alerts and the dashboards you can configure. Well, with custom alerts in Azure Monitor, you can set thresholds for performance and be notified when these thresholds which you configured get breached. Plus, you can also visualize your performance metrics with dashboards, making it easy to track the overall health of your storage environment. Imagine you come to your office every day and you have a nicely laid out dashboard which gives you the uh, information at a glance about all your resources performance. And if something goes wrong, you can immediately find it and work to actually fix it. Optimization and reporting. Well, Azure Advisor is your go-to tool for recommendation, especially on cost optimization. Sorry for that. Plus security and performance improvements as well. It's like having a personal consultant for your Azure setup or for your Azure environment. Remember, when you create an environment, you will not see recommendations right away. Recommendation take time, but eventually you will see that a lot of recommendations are being generated by Azure because Azure need to actually scan your environment and then give you the recommendation. Now let's go to the lab and check out how we can monitor and manage storage performance and cost. I will see you in the lab. Hey, welcome to your next lab. In this lab, we will go through the concepts of monitoring and managing your storage performance and cost. So, to showcase, all the aspects of the storage account, cost management and performance management, I need a storage account for demo purposes. So I have one resource group here called demo RG and one storage account called NITA storage account. Now, inside the storage account, I have a container called demo. And inside this container, I have just a piece of data. It's just a screenshot. Now, if you go back, there's also a file share. Again, I named this file share as demo fs file share. And there is actually a video inside this file share, which we can access, right? We need to create some data. We need to create some incoming requests and outgoing data sets. So we have the material for that. Now, I also have one sandbox environment in which I installed my Azure Storage Explorer and I signed in to my account so that I can see the blob and I can also see the file inside my storage account. This is the video and this is the picture in my container. Now let's start with monitoring part. Why do you need monitoring? Well, when you have your infrastructure established in your storage account and you have a lot of data inside it, to make sure that your storage account or the data inside it is performing at a reasonable level, right? According to the SLA, service level agreement, you have to continuously monitor it. If something goes wrong or something goes bad, you should also get an alert so that you can fix it. So if I go to my storage account, then where will you go to monitor your environment? Well, you will go to monitoring section. You have another monitoring section which says classic. This is the old structure. Yes, it is still there, but we will use the latest one. Now here you have all the feature set of monitoring tab. That is, you can get an insight in your environment. You can set alerts. You can check the matrix. You can create your workbooks, diagnostic settings, and you can check the logs. Now, if we go to insights, well, here you can get your insight on the availability. Right now, my data is 100% available. These are transactions, like how many times the data was actually accessed. This is a normal latency, that is 3 milliseconds, right? And successful server latency. And over here, you can see your blob transactions. The blob is used a lot. And then your file transactions. Then you have your API name call. Then you have your availability. It's 100% available. Then you have your latency, end-to-end server latency, the bandwidth that's used, and all this information can tell you the health of your environment. Now, if you go back and let's try to access this picture. Let's open it. The content of this image is not important, just the source. So I don't have any application on the sandbox to open this, so I can open it here. I can go to my data storage, containers, demo. This is the URL of my image. Let's go back to monitoring and open it here. I'm also opening it here. multiple times. So what am I doing right now? I'm creating a request to get this image out of my blob. So eventually, the transaction count will go up and it will show you that the blob is being used a lot. So this was your insight. Alert simply means that you can create alerts on a set rule. The rule can be if the transaction count goes above 1,000 in just one day, then set an alert. That means that maybe a lot of people are trying to connect with my blob and the performance is not that good. I may need to fix it. The next is your matrix. Here you can create your tailor-made matrix layout, and you can also download this as a report which you can provide to your superiors or any decision-making authority. So I'll go here, I'll click on my account blob file, like what do you want to see? Let's start with blob. Now, what do you want to look at? Availability, it's at 100%. How about ingress and egress, incoming and outgoing? Well, it will also show you that. It's not a huge file, so not a lot of, I would say, bandwidth is used. Again, not a lot. This is your latency, end-to-end server latency, and these are your transactions, right? And if you get your data, you can also download this and, save it to your dashboard as well. Now, if you go back, let's try to connect with our file share and run this video. Again, this is just a generic video. There is no data inside it. So we are connecting with our environment and shortly the video will start. And we can go here, add matrix. Now we are interested in file share and we want to see transactions. Yes, it's going up. Let's check out the egress. Yes, the video is big. It's like 59.9 megabits. And as you can see, the video is now playing. And what was the size? Here we go, 59.82. So that amount of data was actually used, or the bandwidth was used. Now, this will go up again if multiple people start watching this video. So this will also go up. Remember, this matrix is not real time. I just watched the video. I will do it again, let's say. You will not see the effect immediately. It takes some time to refresh your Azure matrix. But eventually it will come there. As you can see, it is using the bandwidth here. And the video will play. Now, eventually, this will go up. We'll wait for that. And then you can also check out the logs. So this is where you check the historical data. And you can create your own query as well. Now, remember, all this will showcase what is going on with your environment, but with a slight lag, not real time. So let's try again. Maybe it refreshed. Not yet. So this was your monitoring aspect of it. Now, how about increasing or decreasing the performance of your storage account? Well, what do you mean by performance of a storage account? Number one, the speed or the latency it provides to your customers to access your data. It can be high, it can be low. It depends on how you configure your storage account. Second, if you create a storage account where you selected the premium storage, let's say, that will give you the lowest latency. It will be expensive, but it will give you the best performance. Plus, can you change it? Yes. Let's go to our containers. Click on the container. As you can see, if you select your content here on top, you will get an option of change tiers. Right now it is hot. Let's try to make it archive. Setting the access tier to archive will make your blob inaccessible until it rehydrates back to hot and cool, which may take several hours. So remember, if it goes to archive, archive is the cheapest option, but to retrieve the data from archive, the speeds are very slow. It needs to rehydrate, means move it back to cool or hot tier. Only then you can access it. So let's try it. Let's save. Okay. Now we'll give it some time and it will move to archive. How about your file share? Yes, you can also change the performance of your file share. So if you click on it, on top you will see change tier. I will make it cool. And that's it. You changed your performance tier. Now I will give it some time and then we'll see how can we manage cost. All right, now let's check our monitoring first. If we go to metrics, go to file and check the egress. Yep, now it's going up. So total of 239 megabits were actually used and the organization have to pay for it. So this is how you can keep a check and monitor your environment. Now let's move to cost management. I already showed you that if you bring down your tier of your container or your file share, yes, the performance will be low, but you will also save money according to that. So that is just one way of saving cost. What other method you have? Well, you can also reduce the amount of storage you use. For example, here, for demo file share, 100 TB bits. You don't need that much, maybe. So can you reduce it? Yes, you can change your quota. Instead of this much, just use enough which you need for that particular file share. How about, let's say 1000 GB. Yeah, close to 1 terabyte. Click OK, and that's it. You're also reducing your limit, your quota, which will save you some money. Now, the most important part is to automatically manage your data in such a way that it moves your data from high performance level to low performance level according to the demand. So, if the demand is high, your data should move to the high performing tier. Yes, your company is paying more, but your customers need it. And then automatically, if the content is not being used at all, after some time, that content should be moved to the lower tiers. This will save you cost. So this gives a balance between performance and cost management. How will you do that? There is a feature in data management called lifecycle management. Well, you create a lifecycle management rule. So you click here, I will call it demo, all right? Apply a rule to all blobs in your storage account. Or you can actually do to a specific blob if you want. I want to apply to all the blobs. Let's say, what type of blob you have? I already have a block blob, so I will use that. And what is the blob subtype? Is it a base blob or these are snapshots? Well, these are base blobs, let's say. Click next. This is important. This is where you create your rules. So if and then condition will be used. If base blobs were last modified more than, let's say, 30 days ago, then move it to, let's say, cool tier. And you can build on top of it. You can have multiple conditions there. So this means if nobody actually touched the base blob and the base blob was never modified and it's been 30 days, why you want to keep it in hot then? Move it to cool tier. All good. And then if again it is not touched for, let's say, 60 days, then move it to cold. Then you can say if it is not touched for 180 days, well, just archive it. All right, archival. Now, of course, so you will skip the blobs which were rehydrated, means moved from the archive to cold tier to access it for 7 days. And then those blobs will also be used according to this condition. Now, the last one will be if they were not used for, let's say, 300 days, then just delete the blob. That is the end of your life cycle. Now, this also goes in reverse. Let's say someone used the blob or modified it within 180 days. Yes, it will move back to the top tier. So this life cycle will move your data from multiple tiers up and down to give you good performance and save you money down the line. And then you can just add it and the rule will initiate. So these were some tips and tricks to monitor your Azure storage environment, to manage the cost, and also to change the performance tiers. So that was the end of this lab. I hope it made sense for you. And you can also build it in your own environment and test it. I will see you in the next lab. Thank you. Welcome back. I hope the lab was clear. Now you know that monitoring your environment will actually help you to proactively fix an issue before it becomes too big and halts your productivity of your organization at least. Now, to summarize, Azure Monitor gives you a complete visibility into performance and the health of your resources. Matrix help you to track resource performance in real time. Well, cost management tools also help you to monitor, allocate, and optimize your spending. On the other hand, the sub-tools or sub-services like alerts, dashboards, and Azure Advisor provide continuous insights and recommendation to keep everything running smoothly and effectively or efficiently. By actively using these tools, you can ensure that your storage setup is high performing and also cost effective. That's it for this episode. I will see you in the next episode. Take care.